Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're tackling something that honestly sounds a bit, well, alarming when you first hear it.
Mhm.
Something that might be happening to your body, like every single night while you sleep.
Yeah.
And it could be kind of silently undermining your strength, your energy, even your independence as you get older.
It's a bit of a hidden issue, isn't it?
It seems so. So we're going to do a deep dive into sources we have here, mainly drawing from Senior Fit.
Right, which focuses on, simple science-backed ways to stay strong, stay vibrant after 60.
Exactly. And this material, it uses some pretty stark language, talking about your muscles, quote, vanishing slowly, silently while you sleep.
Yeah, that definitely gets your attention.
It does. So our mission today, together, is to really unpack what the science in these sources actually says about this.
And crucially, what you can do about it.
Right. What actionable steps are presented that you could potentially take, like right away, maybe even tonight, to stop and maybe even reverse this overnight loss?
It really is well, surprising insight. The sources highlight this age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, technically.
Right.
And, people can lose up to 8% of their muscle mass per decade after 60. That's quite a lot.
8% per decade. Wow.
But what's really eye-opening, according to this material, is where a lot of that loss happens. They emphasize much of that loss.
Okay.
It's not happening just during your day or even when you work out. It's happening overnight while you're asleep.
Overnight while you're resting. That feels
Uh,
backwards. I always thought sleep was repair time.
It absolutely is prime time for repair. But here's the catch, like the way the sources explain it.
Mm.
While you sleep, your body goes into this long fasting state, 7, 8, maybe 9 hours, right? No food coming in.
Sure.
Your body still needs fuel, though. It has to keep blood sugar stable for your brain, needs amino acids for all sorts of essential repairs.
Okay.
So if there's no fuel coming in from, say, dinner anymore, your body's smart, it turns inward.
Inward.
It starts breaking down its own tissues to get those amino acids and nutrients it needs. And unfortunately, a primary target is your muscle tissue.
Oh.
This process, breaking down complex stuff like muscle protein into simpler stuff, that's called catabolism.
Catabolism.
Man.
Okay, so your body's basically like borrowing from your muscles to keep things running overnight because there's no food coming in. Like taking from savings because the checking account ran dry.
That's a really good way to put it, actually. And the source material explains that while, catabolism is normal, it becomes a much bigger issue as we age, especially after 60.
Why is it worse after 60?
Well, it's linked to another key idea they introduce, anabolic resistance.
Anabolic resistance. Okay, what's that?
So think of anabolic as the opposite, the building up process, muscle building specifically.
Got it.
As we get older, past 60, our bodies become, well, less efficient, less sensitive to the protein we eat when it comes to actually building or even just maintaining muscle.
Less sense.
Yeah, like the switch that turns on muscle building needs a stronger push. It needs more high-quality protein, especially certain amino acids, to get going as effectively as it did when we were younger.
Okay. So even if you think you're eating enough protein during the day,
Mm-hmm.
by the time you hit that long overnight fast, your muscles aren't getting that strong signal they need anymore because of this resistance.
That's precisely the point the source material makes. It says even if you eat enough protein during the day, your muscles might not be getting what they need at night because of this reduced sensitivity plus the long fast.
Which makes nighttime kind of a danger zone for muscle loss in older adults.
Exactly. A period of significant vulnerability.
No.
The source suggests this hidden overnight thing, made worse by anabolic resistance, could be a major reason why you might feel stiffer, maybe notice strength declining, even if you feel pretty active.
Okay, that explains the problem clearly.
Mm.
And yeah, it is a bit concerning. Muscle loss isn't just daytime wear and tear. It's this overnight challenge, especially after 60. But the good news, as the source material points out, is that this isn't, like, inevitable. It presents a solution that sounds, well, surprisingly simple.
It really does. The Senior Fit material emphasizes that, yeah, the problem's real, but the potential fix is quite accessible.
Okay.
It reveals that a relatively small change, just adding certain foods about 30 to 60 minutes before bed, can have a dramatic effect.
Really? Just eating something specific before bed?
According to the science, they say, yeah. These foods can significantly cut down on that overnight muscle breakdown, and, this is exciting, they might even actively trigger new muscle growth and repair while you sleep.
Actively building muscle while you're just
Yeah.
sleeping. That sounds almost, I don't know, too easy.
It does sound good, doesn't it? But the research referenced is compelling. The source gives a list of 8 specific foods, backed by studies with this exact purpose, and they even rank them by effectiveness.
8 foods ranked.
There you go.
Okay.
And the claims about the number 1 food are pretty impressive. They mention a recent study showing it boosted overnight muscle protein synthesis, that's the building process, by 22%.
Wow, 22%.
Get this, even without exercise.
22% more muscle building without hitting the gym. Now, that definitely grabs your attention, especially if, intense workouts aren't really your thing, or maybe you're recovering from something.
Absolutely. It really highlights the potential of just fueling your body strategically. So if you're looking for simple, actionable ways to fight that age-related muscle decline, keep your function, just feel stronger, focusing on that pre-bed snack could be a game changer you haven't thought about.
Let's dive in. Let's explore these foods, count down their list.
Let's do it.
And hey, if you're already finding these insights helpful, maybe a bit empowering, please do make sure to subscribe right now. It's really the best way to make sure you don't miss future deep dives like this one stuff that could genuinely make a difference in your health.
Definitely. Okay, where do we start?
Right, before the countdown, let's just solidify that science bit. We mentioned catabolism, the breakdown, and anabolic resistance, the efficiency drop. How do they really work together, specifically overnight, for someone over 60, according to this material?
Okay, yeah, good idea. So catabolism again. During that long fast, your body needs fuel and building blocks. If they're not coming in anymore from digestion.
It improvises.
Exactly. The source puts it pretty bluntly. Quote, your body has to break down its own muscle to get the nutrients it needs to survive that fasting period. It's not like a huge chunk disappears each night, but
Over time.
over time, night after night, year after year, it adds up. It's a big contributor to that gradual muscle loss.
A slow, steady drain while you're supposed to be recovering.
Okay. Now, mix in that anabolic resistance. The source explains it's not that your muscles can't grow or repair, but the process is just less sensitive.
Like that sticky light switch analogy you used. Need a stronger flick.
Precisely. Activating muscle protein synthesis after 60 needs a more potent signal, especially from specific amino acids, like leucine is a big one they mention. You need a higher concentration, a stronger signal than when you were younger.
So the protein you had at dinner, even if it was decent, might not provide that strong, sustained signal all night long to fight off the breakdown because your muscles just aren't listening as well now.
That's the crux of it. Timing and the type of protein become way more critical. Dinner protein might give you a boost for a few hours, sure, but as the night goes on, fasting continues, resistance is high, catabolism can start to win out. The source material connects it directly. This is why nighttime is vulnerable and why it could be a major hidden factor in why you might wake up feeling stiff or weaker. It's that combo. Long fast, body needs fuel, muscles are less responsive. That's the window of vulnerability.
Understanding that really sets the stage for why this bedtime food idea is presented as being so important. It's about intervening right in that vulnerable window.
Exactly. Strategically providing the right fuel at the right time.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's get to the list from Senior Fit. The foods presented as the solution. Countdown starts at number 8.
Let's do it. All right, coming in at number 8. It's a classic. Might surprise you, though.
Number 8, cottage cheese. Really, I think of that as like diet food from the 80s or maybe a light lunch, not a bedtime muscle saver.
Yeah. Seems a bit old school, right? But the source calls it an old school food making a modern comeback for muscle protection.
Okay, why? What's the secret?
It's all about the protein type. Casein, C-A-S-E-I-N.
Casein. Okay, what's special about casein?
Remember that analogy, whey protein is like a firecracker, quick burst. Casein, it's the candle.
Ah, slow burn.
Exactly. Casein digests really slowly. It forms this gel in your stomach, and it releases amino acids gradually, steadily over like 6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours. That covers most of the night.
Perfect for that overnight fast, right? It provides that slow, steady trickle of amino acids, the building blocks, helping to fight off that catabolism we talked about.
Like a timed release protein source, but it's just cottage cheese.
Pretty much. And they cite research to back it up specifically for older adults.
Oh, yeah. What did this study find?
It was in the British Journal of Nutrition. Adults over 60 were given some casein protein before bed. Compared to the group who got nothing, the casein group saw a 31% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis.
Whoa, hang on. 31% increase in building muscle
Mhm.
just from that bedtime protein. That sounds huge.
It is significant, especially considering that anabolic resistance challenge. The source suggests these findings mean providing the slow-digesting protein at night gives the body what it needs to not just stop breakdown, but to actually build more muscle while sleeping. They call that finding huge.
That is incredibly promising. Okay, so how do they suggest you actually eat it?
Super simple, half a cup, about 30 to 60 minutes before you plan to sleep.
Half a cup, plain.
They suggest plain, low-fat, ideally, especially if you're watching calories. But if plain is just too, well, plain. They suggest simple mix-ins. A few banana slices, maybe a sprinkle of cinnamon, tiny drizzle of honey. Just keep it light. Avoid tons of sugar that could mess with sleep. They mention bananas add potassium, too. Good for muscles.
Okay, simple additions. What about adding things like seeds?
Yeah, they mentioned a spoonful of chia seeds is good, too. Adds fiber, omega-3s.
Any other perks to cottage cheese?
Well, it naturally contains tryptophan, that amino acid linked to sleepiness, so it might help you wind down too.
Bonus.
And they say it's incredibly easy to digest, even for sensitive stomachs. They wrap it up by connecting it back to you, the listener, saying, many seniors who have trouble sleeping or wake up feeling stiff and sore have found this one food makes a huge difference. Could be the quiet little fix.
A quiet fix with a potentially big impact. Okay, number 8. Cottage cheese. Got it. Moving on from dairy, for now,
Mm.
to another classic. Number 7, you said, has a hidden muscle secret.
Yep, rolling in at number 7, hard-boiled eggs.
Okay, eggs. Simple, portable. How do they fit into overnight muscle repair?
The source calls them one of the most compact, nutrient-dense, and muscle-protecting foods you can eat before bed. Don't let the simplicity fool you, they say. Don't underestimate their power.
Compact powerhouses. What's inside?
Each egg packs about 6 grams of really high-quality, complete protein.
Complete, meaning it has all those essential amino acids your body needs but can't make.
Exactly. All 9, in the right ratios for muscle building. And what the source really emphasizes for older adults is their leucine content.
Leucine again? That muscle-building switch.
That's the one. Remember, with anabolic resistance after 60, you need a stronger signal, more leucine, to really flip that switch effectively. Eggs deliver that efficiently. The source calls them complete, efficient protein, easily absorbed, easy to digest, powerful even in small amounts.
So just 1 or 2 eggs before bed could give you that important leucine boost. Is there research on this too?
Yeah, they point to a 2021 study in the journal Nutrients. Adults over 60 added whole eggs to their evening routine for 12 weeks. The result, the egg group had a 19% higher muscle preservation rate.
19% better muscle preservation over 3 months. That's definitely something. Did the study figure out why?
Yes, the source mentions the egg eaters also showed higher levels of IGF-1.
IGF-1, so similar. Growth factor.
Yeah, insulin-like growth factor 1. The source explains it's a growth hormone that supports tissue repair and naturally declines with age. So more IGF-1 means potentially better recovery, less soreness, faster rebuilding while you sleep. The eggs seem to boost this natural repair system.
Less stiffness, better recovery. That's a direct benefit people would feel. How does the source say to prepare them? Just boil them.
Pretty much. Just boil, peel, and eat. The recommendation is simple. 1 or 2 hard-boiled eggs about 30 minutes before bed. They note they're gentle on the stomach, low in sugar and starch, so no sleep-disrupting blood sugar spikes.
Any tips to, enhance them?
They do suggest maybe a sprinkle of turmeric and black pepper. We'll hear more about that combo later for anti-inflammatory benefits. Or pairing with a little avocado for healthy fats, which could slow digestion down even more, keep the fuel coming longer.
Avocado and egg. Like a little muscle mini meal.
It is. And the source highlights how perfect eggs are if your appetite is low late at night. Just peel and eat. That's it. They wrap up by saying whether you're recovering from exercise, dealing with joint soreness, or just trying to maintain your independence, these little protein bombs can help.
Simple, effective. Research showing better muscle preservation, better hormone levels. Okay, hard-boiled eggs make sense at number 7. All right, number 6. Source says this one's not typical for bedtime, powerful with a specific addition, and comes from the sea.
Let's wade into number 6. Tuna. Specifically, tuna packed in olive oil.
Tuna before bed. That does sound a bit unusual. Why tuna? And why in olive oil? That seems specific.
The source acknowledges it's maybe not the first thing you think of, but calls this combo of protein and healthy fat an absolute powerhouse for protecting muscle after 60.
Okay.
Tuna itself is super lean, incredibly protein-dense, packed with high-quality protein, and again, rich in leucine.
Leucine showing up again. Key player.
Definitely. But you nailed it. The crucial strategy here is packing it in olive oil, not water. That gives you a double benefit, according to the source.
Double benefit how?
The olive oil provides those healthy monounsaturated fats. And what do healthy fats do? They slow digestion significantly.
So the protein doesn't hit all at once.
Exactly. The amino acids from the tuna get released gradually over hours, continuously feeding your muscles throughout the night. It's protein plus slow-release fuel, perfect for that overnight fast.
So the fat isn't just flavor. It's actively slowing down the protein release to make it last longer. That's clever.
It's presented as a key part of the strategy, and they back it with a 2020 study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition.
What did that one find?
It looked specifically at older adults eating a high-protein food that was also rich in healthy fats and omega-3s. They explicitly mentioned options like tuna and olive oil before bed. The results were pretty striking.
Okay.
That group had a 34% higher increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to groups who had low-fat protein or nothing.
34%. That's the biggest jump we've heard yet. Any other benefits in that study?
Yes. The source highlights a few more. The tuna in oil type group also reported less morning soreness, showed higher levels of vitamin D absorption, and had improved inflammatory markers.
Less soreness, better vitamin D, less inflammation. Sounds like faster recovery, feeling better overall.
That's how the source interprets it: faster recovery, less discomfort, holding on to more muscle.
Okay, I'm starting to see the logic. How do they suggest eating it? Just straight from the can?
Pretty much. Key is in olive oil, not water. The oil is vital. About half a can, maybe with some cucumber slices or whole grain crackers for crunch.
Any flavor tips? Keep it simple.
Yeah, a little squeeze of lemon juice or a pinch of sea salt. But definitely avoid mayonnaise or heavy sauces. Those can be harder to digest and can interfere with sleep.
Right, keep it light before bed. Anything else key about tuna?
They just reinforce that it's one of the richest natural sources of leucine and remind us older bodies need more leucine to trigger muscle building because of that resistance. Getting it right before bed is presented as a direct strategy against sarcopenia.
So it's a strategic move, not just a random snack.
Exactly. The source concludes, if you're serious about strength and independence, this isn't just a snack, it's a strategy.
Tuna in olive oil. Strategy noted. Protein plus slow-release fat for sustained overnight fuel. Okay. From the sea to something creamy, tangy. Supports muscles and gut health. Number 5 is another dairy.
That brings us to number 5, Greek yogurt.
Okay, Greek yogurt. We had cottage cheese earlier. How is Greek yogurt different or maybe better in this context?
The source calls Greek yogurt a total body ally, even one of the most complete, balanced, and effective foods you can eat before sleep for muscle maintenance after 60.
High praise. What makes it so complete?
It's a powerful blend, they explain. You get high casein protein again, that slow, steady release.
Like cottage cheese.
Right. Plus, you get beneficial probiotics for digestion and nutrient absorption. And calcium, vital for muscle contraction and bone strength. It's the total package. Protein, gut health, and minerals all in one bowl.
And why Greek yogurt specifically? Is regular yogurt not as good?
Good question. The source specifies Greek because it's triple strained. That process concentrates the protein way up and reduces the sugar compared to regular yogurt. That higher protein density is key for getting enough amino acids, especially leucine, to overcome that anabolic resistance.
More bang for your buck, protein-wise. Is there specific research on Greek yogurt for seniors at night?
Yep, they cite a clinical study in Frontiers in Nutrition. Older adults had a high-protein snack made from Greek yogurt before bed for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
They saw a 26% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis. Pretty good, right?
26%? Yeah, it's solid.
But here's something extra interesting. The study also found improved mitochondrial activity in their muscles.
Mitochondria.
Okay.
Those are like the power plants in our cells, right? So their muscle cells were working better, generating more energy.
That's exactly how the source interprets it. The yogurt didn't just feed the muscles, it helped the muscle cells work better. They connect this directly to you, the listener. If you feel morning fatigue, stiffness, or weakness, this could be why the study group reported even more energy the following day.
Wow, waking up feeling more energized. That's a fantastic side effect.
Huh.
How much Greek yogurt and how should you eat it?
Again, simple, about half a cup. Plain, unsweetened is crucial. Eat it 30 to 45 minutes before bed.
Definitely plain. Those flavored ones are tempting.
The source strongly warns against flavored yogurts. They say the added sugar can disrupt your sleep and recovery. If you need flavor, go natural. Dash of cinnamon, few berries, drop of vanilla extract.
Got it. Any other tips for Greek yogurt?
They suggest maybe mixing in a teaspoon of chia seeds again for fiber and omega-3s, and they highlight the calcium benefit.
For bones, obviously, but you said muscle contraction too.
Yeah, calcium helps regulate muscle contractions and nerve signals. This could mean fewer nighttime cramps and a smoother sleep cycle. Plus, the probiotics are linked to better muscle metabolism, more effective nutrient absorption, and even less inflammation. All good stuff for keeping strong.
So Greek yogurt is like a multitasker.
Hmm.
Slow protein, gut health, calcium for muscles, and maybe fewer cramps, better energy.
Wow. It's presented as an ideal, effortless nighttime snack covering a lot of bases for muscle repair, digestion, and energy.
Okay, let's pause there for a sec. We've covered the first 4 foods from the Senior Fit source: cottage cheese, hard-boiled eggs, tuna and olive oil, and Greek yogurt. 4 really potent, science-backed options for helping protect and rebuild muscle while you sleep.
And it's worth just quickly reiterating why this matters so much, as the source does. Keeping muscle mass isn't just vanity, it's absolutely critical for independence, balance, mobility, and overall energy as you age. This idea of fueling specifically overnight during that often ignored period is presented as a really key piece of the puzzle against age-related decline.
Totally. And this deep dive is uncovering some really practical stuff. If you're finding this valuable, if it's sparking ideas for you, please take a second right now and hit that subscribe button. Your support is what lets us keep digging into topics like this, bringing you insights that can genuinely boost your health and vitality. We'd really appreciate it.
We would. Okay, ready for the top 4?
Let's do it. The source suggests these next 4 are even more impactful. Kicking off the top half at number 4, it's a warm, soothing drink, ancient roots, but the source says it has modern muscle-saving power.
All right, number 4 is warm milk with turmeric.
Ah, golden milk. I've heard of that for sleep and inflammation, but specifically for muscles too.
Much more than just a sleep aid, according to the source. They say this simple mix helps protect muscle, ease inflammation, and improve the quality of your restorative sleep all at once. A triple threat for people over 60.
Okay, break it down. The milk part first.
The milk provides the familiar stuff: casein protein for that slow release, calcium for muscles and bones, tryptophan to help you feel sleepy, vitamin D, which is important for muscle function. So even just warm milk gives your body some fuel for repair overnight.
But the turmeric is the magic ingredient here.
That's what the source calls it, the golden ingredient. Turmeric contains curcumin, right? And curcumin is described as one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory agents.
And inflammation is bad for muscles.
Yes, the source emphasizes that inflammation is one of the biggest causes of muscle breakdown and joint pain in older adults. Chronic, low-grade inflammation basically eats away at muscle tissue over time.
Gotcha. So the turmeric fights the inflammation that breaks muscle down, while the milk provides the protein building blocks.
That's the synergy. Protein from milk plus curcumin from turmeric equals nutrients for recovery, rebuilding, and reducing the stuff that causes breakdown, all while promoting deep rest. They call it a real, science-backed bedtime ritual.
Is there specific research on this milk-turmeric combo for older adults?
Yes, they cite a 2022 study in Nutritional Neuroscience. It found that older adults getting a small protein drink before bed had a significant improvement in overnight muscle protein synthesis. When curcumin was added to that drink, how much improvement? 32%.
Wait, a 32% boost just from adding the curcumin? So the protein helped, but the turmeric took it to another level for building muscle overnight.
That's exactly what the source highlights from that study. And there's more. The group getting the protein with curcumin also reported less morning stiffness, reduced joint pain, and fewer signs of muscle inflammation.
Less stiffness and less joint pain. That's huge for quality of life.
Absolutely. So the turmeric wasn't just about building, it actively helped reduce inflammation, a major barrier to recovery and comfort.
Okay, I'm sold on the benefits. How do you make it?
Super simple. Gently warm up 1 cup of milk, not boiling, about 30 minutes before bed. Organic or A2 milk may be better, or fortified plant milk if needed.
And the turmeric part.
Stir in about 14 teaspoons of ground turmeric, and this is crucial. Add a pinch of black pepper.
Ah, yes. The piperine in black pepper helps you absorb the curcumin, right?
The source confirms that explicitly. Says it helps your body absorb the curcumin to get the full anti-inflammatory effect. A tiny bit of honey is okay for taste, but keep it minimal.
And what if you can't do dairy? Does it still work with plant milk?
They suggest fortified soy or pea protein milk as the best plant-based options for muscle support. While the protein source changes, they imply the turmeric's anti-inflammatory benefit and the absorption boost from pepper are still valuable.
So plant-based folks can still get some benefits. Good to know.
Yeah, The source really emphasizes the synergy. Milk gives protein and calcium, turmeric fights inflammation, warmth, and tryptophan calm you down. It ties back to that core idea. Muscle grows during rest and recovery. This drink provides the building blocks and helps create the right internal environment for it. Soothes the mind, fuels muscles, supports recovery.
A simple ancient remedy with modern validation for muscles and joints. Okay, warm milk with turmeric at number 4. Powerful. Now, from a warm drink to something. Creamy, nutty, number 3.
Moving on to number 3. Almond butter.
Almond butter. Like peanut butter's cousin. That's number 3, it seems. Well, pretty normal.
The source gets that. Says it might look like just a tasty spread, but calls it a rich, creamy, slow-digesting powerhouse that's perfect for nighttime muscle protection. It claims it has a unique blend of nutrients that support muscle recovery, improve sleep, and even help reduce muscle breakdown while you rest.
Okay, unique blend. What's in it that's so special for nighttime?
Key things they list. Healthy fats, crucial for slowing digestion and providing steady energy all night. Plant-based protein to feed muscles. Magnesium helps relax muscles and improve sleep. And vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant for tissue repair.
So it's not just protein. The fats and magnesium are really important here, too.
Absolutely. The source really stresses the slow digestion from the healthy fats. This gives you stable, sustained fuel for hours, preventing those energy crashes you might get from sugar and ensuring a continuous nutrient supply for muscle repair all night long.
Makes sense. Is there research specifically on almond butter or almond fats at night?
Yes, they refer to a 2020 study in Nutrients. Older adults added a small serving of almond-based fat nightly. What did they find? A 17% improvement in overnight nitrogen retention, described as a key marker of muscle preservation.
Okay, 17% better muscle preservation.
And get this, significantly lower cortisol levels.
Cortisol, that's the stress hormone, right?
Yeah.
How does lowering that help muscles?
The source explains cortisol causes muscle breakdown, especially while you sleep. So the almond butter didn't just provide building blocks. By helping lower cortisol, it seemed to actively protect muscles from stress-induced breakdown, helping your body hold on to more protein and get deeper rest.
Wow, protecting muscles from stress while you sleep. That's a really interesting angle. Okay, how much almond butter and how?
Just 1 tablespoon. Eat it about 30 minutes before bed.
1 tablespoon, plain off the spoon.
Plain is fine, or spread it on something simple like a small piece of whole grain toast, a few apple slices, maybe some oat or seed crackers. But here's a big caveat from the source. You must use natural almond butter. The kind that separates needs a stir. No added sugar, no hydrogenated oils. They warn strongly against those, saying they turn a health food into junk food and won't give you these benefits.
Right, check the label. Natural only. Good tip. You mentioned magnesium earlier, too. What's the benefit there at night?
The source calls magnesium one of the lesser-known but powerful benefits. It helps relax your muscles, calm your nervous system, and prevent nighttime cramping or restlessness.
Fewer cramps. That's a common nighttime issue.
Exactly. They suggest if you often wake up or have trouble sleeping deeply, the magnesium in almond butter might make a bigger difference than you realize. Plus, the stable blood sugar from the fats means fewer nighttime wake-ups caused by energy crashes.
Muscle relaxation, calming effect, fewer cramps, stable blood sugar. All adds up to better sleep, which is key for muscle recovery.
Precisely. And they note it's great if you have low appetite at night, serious nutrition with minimal effort. They summarize it as rich in slow-digesting fat and plant protein, supports repair, reduces stress breakdown, helps sleep deeper. A quiet, powerful ally.
Quiet but powerful. Okay, almond butter in number 3 makes sense now. We're getting close. Number 2 is a drink. Tart, tangy, known for sleep, but the source says surprisingly good for muscle soreness and recovery.
That brings us to the runner-up, number 2, tart cherry juice.
Tart cherry juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been trendy for sleep, but the source focuses on muscle soreness and recovery for older adults specifically.
Absolutely. The source calls it a powerful natural drink that does more than help you sleep. It helps muscles recover, joints feel better, and your body rebuild overnight. They say it's one of the most scientifically supported nighttime tools for older adults, especially if you're dealing with soreness, poor sleep, or inflammation.
Okay, scientifically supported. What do the active ingredients doing the work?
2 key things, anthocyanins and melatonin.
Melatonin. Okay, the sleep hormone. What are anthocyanins? Sounds fancy.
Their natural plant pigments give the cherries that deep red color, but they have strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. And we know
Less inflammation equals less muscle breakdown.
Exactly. And faster recovery, less soreness. So the anthocyanins tackle inflammation. The melatonin helps you sleep better.
It's like a 1-2 punch. Fight inflammation and boost the sleep needed for repair.
That's the cycle the source describes. Less inflammation equals less muscle breakdown. More melatonin equals better sleep. Better sleep equals better recovery. They call it a perfect storm in the best way possible for nighttime recovery.
Okay, is there specific research on older adults using this for recovery?
Yes. They cite a 2019 study from the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition. Adults over 50 drank tart cherry juice before bed after just a few weeks.
What happened?
They experienced 33% less muscle soreness in the morning and a 15% improvement in sleep quality. Plus, tests showed higher melatonin and antioxidant levels in their bodies.
33% less soreness? That's huge if you're active or just achy. And 15% better sleep. That's a noticeable difference.
It really is significant. The researchers linked these benefits to the juice reducing oxidative stress, which the source explains is a major contributor to muscle loss and slow recovery in older adults.
Oxidative stress. So it fights another enemy of muscle health and recovery.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you use it? How much?
Key instruction, 4 to 6 ounces. And it must be 100% tart cherry juice. Not a blend, not sweetened.
100% tart, unsweetened. Got it. When?
About 30 to 45 minutes before bed, the source warns, the flavor might be a little sour. That's a good thing. Means you're getting the real deal, those anthocyanins. If it's too much, dilute it with a little water or add a splash of lemon. You don't need a huge glass.
Good, just a small amount.
Any other benefits mentioned?
Yes, big one. Joint health. The source calls it a known joint health booster, especially helpful if you feel muscle loss around painful joints like knees, hips, shoulders. By reducing inflammation, it can ease pressure, allowing freer movement and better repair overnight. Joint pain relief, too. That's a massive bonus, hitting 2 common age-related complaints at once.
Absolutely. And they circle back to sleep quality better. Deeper sleep means more natural release of growth hormone overnight, which is critical for recovery, tissue repair, and muscle rebuilding. They call tart cherry juice simple, natural, non-habit forming, supporting your body at the cellular level, and crucially, protecting muscle during a time when many seniors unknowingly lose it.
Less soreness, better sleep, joint support, fights inflammation and oxidative stress. Wow, tart cherry juice sounds incredibly powerful for something so simple.
It really is presented as a quiet giant in the nighttime recovery world by this source.
Okay, the moment has arrived. We've built up to it.
Yeah.
The #1 food, according to the Senior Fit source, for protecting, rebuilding, and strengthening muscle after 60, with research showing benefits. Get this. Even without exercise. What is it?
All right. Drum roll, please. According to this source material, the #1 recommendation, maybe more of a supplement or food component than a whole food, for preserving muscle, improving strength, and actively slowing age-related muscle loss while you sleep, is a whey protein shake.
Whey protein. Huh. Isn't that like the stuff bodybuilders chug after lifting weights?
Yeah.
How is that #1 for older adults, especially with that no exercise needed claim?
That is the immediate reaction, isn't it? And the source tackles that head on. While, yeah, whey's reputation is tied to the gym, the material argues that for people over 60, a whey protein shake before bed might be the most powerful nutritional tool available to fight off muscle loss, even if you're not lifting weights.
Okay, that's a bold claim. What makes whey uniquely effective for seniors at night, according to them?
It boils down to 2 main things they highlight. Its relatively rapid absorption compared to something like casein, and its incredibly high concentration of, guess what?
Leucine. It always comes back to leucine, the light switch.
Bingo. The source hammers this home again. Think of leucine like a light switch. Turns on muscle building, not enough leucine, switch stays off. And crucially, due to that anabolic resistance after 60, your body becomes resistant to lower levels of leucine. You need more of the right kind of protein at the right time to trigger repair.
So even though whey is faster digesting than casein, the idea here is to slam the system with a big concentrated dose of leucine right before that long overnight fast to overcome the resistance and definitely flip that muscle building switch.
That's precisely how the source frames it, delivering a potent signal right when your body is heading into that nutrient-scarce period. And they back this up with what they call the most impressive finding they compiled.
Okay, the big one.
A 2021 clinical trial in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. specifically looked at adults over 65 drinking a 40-gram whey protein shake before bed.
40 grams. That is a hefty dose of protein. What happened in that study?
The findings highlighted by the source are genuinely remarkable. The participants saw a significant 22% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis,
Okay, 22%. We heard that number.
lower levels of muscle breakdown markers, and over time they showed improvements in strength, walking speed, and balance.
Wait, improved strength, walking speed, and balance. Just from a shake before bed.
And here's the detail the source emphasizes as the most compelling. These functional improvements happened even more impressively without exercise.
Without exercise. Seriously. That 22% synthesis boost without exercise, that came from this specific study.
Yes. According to the source material, that 22% jump in overnight muscle building and the resulting real-world improvements in strength, speed, and balance were seen in the group drinking the 40-degree whey shake nightly with no structured exercise program involved.
That really is presented as potentially game-changing. Improved strength, speed, balance without adding exercise. For many older adults, that possibility alone is enormous.
The source even poses the question to you, the listener. Imagine what could happen with a regular walking or strength routine combined with this strategy. It suggests whey doesn't just stop the loss. It actively triggers building new muscle while you sleep, leading to tangible physical benefits.
Incredible. Okay, how does the source recommend actually using a whey shake then?
Consistency and quality are key. Mix 1 scoop of high-quality whey protein isolate with water or unsweetened almond milk. Drink it 30 to 60 minutes before bed.
1 scoop. Is that the 40 grams from the study? Scoops vary.
That's a good point. Scoops do vary. The source mentions the 40-gram study finding as impressive evidence, but recommends 1 scoop as the practical starting point, likely aiming for around 20-30 grams, depending on the brand, which is still a substantial dose rich in leucine. The focus is on getting that potent signal, keep it light and digestible.
Can you add stuff, blend it?
Yeah, you can blend in maybe half a banana, small spoonful of almond butter, dash of cinnamon or vanilla, but they warn strongly. Avoid added sugar, heavy cream, or store-bought mass gainer shakes. Those are full of stuff you don't want, especially before bed.
Why isolate specifically? Whey isolate.
They suggest isolate or hydrolyzed whey, particularly if you're sensitive to lactose. They're generally easier on digestion, but still deliver that muscle-preserving power and high leucine content.
Easier digestion is good before sleep.
Definitely. And they reiterate, whey before bed doesn't just prevent loss. It actively builds new muscle. It also supports the release of growth hormone and IGF-1 overnight, those natural hormones vital for recovery, tissue repair, and muscle rebuilding during deep sleep.
So it gives the direct signal and supports the body's natural repair hormones.
Exactly. Plus, it's convenient, right? Unlike making a meal, a shake is easy to prepare, easy to digest, easy to stick with, even if your appetite is low late at night.
That convenience factor is huge, especially at the end of the day. Okay, summing up whey protein, why does the source rank it number 1?
Their reasoning is crystal clear because it hits every requirement. High protein, packed with leucine to trigger growth, convenient and effective for seniors, scientifically proven to preserve and rebuild muscle overnight, even without exercise. They conclude pretty decisively, if you want a simple, powerful way to protect your strength after 60, this is it.
Wow. Okay, that is one seriously impressive list of foods, and the source really backs each one with specific research findings. From, the simplicity of cottage cheese and eggs, to those clever combos like tuna and olive oil and golden milk, right up to the powerhouse impact of whey protein. We've covered 8 distinct science-supported ways presented in this material to fight back against that hidden overnight muscle loss.
Yeah, and the core message that really comes through from digging into these senior fit sources is, well, it's profound, isn't it? Muscle loss isn't just some unavoidable thing that happens during the day as you age. A really significant chunk can happen overnight during that fast, and it gets worse because of that anabolic resistance.
But you're not helpless against it.
Exactly. That's the key insight. By understanding when your body is most vulnerable while you sleep, you actually gain the power to strategically fuel it, to give it what it needs for repair and rebuilding right when it needs it most. It's about providing those key amino acids, especially leucine, and other supportive compounds at just the right time to counteract the breakdown and flip that muscle building switch that gets harder to flip as we age.
It really reframes how you think about sleep and nutrition, doesn't it? It's not just about total daily protein. It's about targeted fuel at a specific time, working with your body's natural repair cycles.
Precisely.
And the source isn't just about information, it's about action. So here's your challenge, inspired directly by this deep dive. Tonight, don't try to change everything. Just pick one. One of these 8 foods or drinks. Whichever one sounds tastiest or easiest or just clicks with you.
Yeah, just start small.
Try having that specific thing prepared simply as recommended about 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed. And then just notice. Pay attention tomorrow morning. How do you feel? Any subtle differences? Less sore, less stiff, maybe a little more energy. Just start with one, see what happens when you give your body that specific fuel for overnight repair.
It's fascinating, isn't it, thinking about the untapped potential your body has while you're completely at rest. These sources really show that sleep isn't just downtime. It's actually prime time for repair, for rebuilding, for strengthening. If you give it the right building blocks, your muscles are ready, willing to rebuild. These foods just help activate that process that naturally slows down with age. It's a powerful opportunity just waiting there.
We really hope this deep dive into the Senior Fit sources has given you some clear, actionable ideas. Maybe spark some curiosity about using your nighttime hours to build strength and vitality. Remember that powerful message from the source material. You are not too old to get stronger. Not even close.
Not even close.
Let's empower you to rebuild that strength, starting tonight, one night at a time.
Absolutely.
And if you found this deep dive valuable, if you want to keep exploring more science-backed ways to support your health, your strength, your independence as you get older, please make sure you're subscribed to the deep dive.
It makes a big difference.
It really does. And hey, leaving a rating or a review helps too. Or even just sharing this deep dive with a friend or family member you care about passing on these insights could really help someone else discover these powerful, actionable strategies.
Great point.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.